Hey y'all, good morning, good morning, good morning. Long time no see, hey? Yeah, I have not been posting any videos or and really only able to answer minimal questions on the Facebook page because life has been insane. I've just been crazy busy and yeah, it's been nuts, but I do have some plans for this YouTube channel specifically that I'll share at the end. But today I wanted to hop on and talk about something that I saw discussed on the Facebook page this week, a few times actually, and that is about mixing foundation shades. And a lot of people are asking, so how do you do that? Do you just like mix them together, or do you layer them, or do you just apply them in specific places? And the answer to those questions is all yes. It just depends on what your purpose is for mixing the shades. So the easiest one to address is if you feel like the shade isn't quite right for you, whether it's not dark enough or it's not the undertone is just too your undertone is too strong one way or the other, or well, no, that's not true. If your undertone just isn't quite right, it's not quite cool, not quite warm, so you want to kind of get something a little bit more neutral, or if you know, like I said, you need to adjust the shade a little bit by incorporating another foundation. That's really easy because you can just take your brush and where's my brush? That's not my brush. Here's my brush. You can just take your brush and dip, 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 and say, for instance, if you have like I don't know, like a dark one, for example, but it's a little too dark for you, then just dip it in the warm one once, and then get a couple of taps of the dark one, mix them together, and apply it to get your perfect shade. Same thing with addressing like undertone issues. You can just take, you know, your, I don't know, cool 3 and maybe warm 2 and dip, 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 depending on how much you need to adjust, and then just blend it all together to get your custom shade. So that one's super easy. Say though, you have a really strong undertone and neither one of the foundations really look right on your skin. So you need some kind of serious color correction. So that in that instance, I think layering would work better for mixing the foundations. So you would want something that would kind of neutralize your undertone. Say you're very yellow, like you have a very sallow type of complexion. I think that's the right word for it. So I would recommend layering on a cool foundation first, and then going over with the warm foundation to help kind of neutralize that color a bit without looking overly pink. You see what I'm saying? So for that type of color correction, I think layering would probably work best. The third way that you can mix foundations is kind of in spot treatments. So for example, my face, I have rosacea, which has improved dramatically since I started using Savvy Minerals and the Art Skincare line. But what I do when I use I use warm 1 and warm 2, and this is kind of a new thing. Originally, I just used warm 1, and I didn't really have any issues with it. But I find I use less foundation when I go over the areas that I'm prone to redness with warm 2 first. So that's what I do. I spray my brush, I dip into a little bit of warm 2, I tap off, and then I go right over the areas where I tend to have redness. And once I feel like those are sufficiently, that's the word I wanted to say, sufficiently covered, then I take my brush and I go into warm 1 and I do the rest of my face. So yeah, so those are three different methods for mixing foundation depending on your needs. And just to summarize and recap here at the end for anybody that might be hopping on late, just kind of mixing, you know, tapping your brush back and forth into 2 different foundations is really good for adjusting the shade a little bit or adjusting the undertone just a little bit. Layering would be better if you need a lot of color correction, or if you have a lot to cover. So you could adjust your, if you have a really strong undertone. So depending on what that is, you would layer with one to kind of neutralize. If you have a lot of redness in your skin, say, you know, go over your whole face with one of the warm foundations. And then, but if you're not really a warm, then go over it with a cool, and you've got a more neutral matching type of shade. If you have a strong undertone, like a very, very yellow skin, you would want to neutralize that a little bit with a cool foundation, and then go over it with warm so that your face isn't pink and the rest of your body is more warm, you know, toned. So, so for things like that, layering would work. And then you could also do the spot treatment, like I just said, where you take your color correcting. If you have, you know, redness, you would want to use a warm color. If you have like hyperpigmentation, you might want to do like a shade darker than what you normally wear, and put that over those areas first, and then go back over with what your real color, you know, your ideal foundation shade would be. So so yeah, I hope that y'all found that helpful. There's been, like I said, quite a bit of discussion, and it wasn't something that I ever thought about doing a video on, because I don't know, I just, you know, I'm glad that you guys asked the questions that you asked, because it really gives me inspiration for content for you guys. And you know, I know that not everybody is as obsessed with makeup and skincare and all those things as I am, and don't spend a whole lot of their life doing research and playing around and practicing and all of those things. So, so thank you guys for asking the questions that you ask, and I hope that this was helpful for y'all. Before I sign off though and finish my face, I did want to kind of just talk a little bit about some of the changes that are going to be happening specifically on this YouTube channel. It's not going to really affect the Facebook page all that much, really, but I'm going to be diversifying my content on YouTube. I've had some feedback from some other viewers that would really like to see some other things besides Savvy on this page. And, you know, originally when I started this, I had no intention of it really becoming a thing. You know, it was just something that I was putting together to kind of help the ladies in our local group, and it grew from there. And I'm super excited about that, and I have a lot of fun with it, so that's good too. But I have gotten some comments from people saying that they would really like to see, you know, my monthly ER order from Young Living, or, you know, just ways that I use the oils and such. And I am about to kind of restart my weight loss efforts here shortly. And I do, when I am behaving myself, I do use oils and some of the supplements that Young Living offers to help support my weight loss goals. And so so I'm going to be hopping on and talking a little bit about, you know, my monthly order, how I use oils for emotional support, how I use oils for respiratory support, how I use oils for health and weight loss efforts and things like that. And I hope that information will be interesting to some of you, and I think it'll also help, especially the weight loss stuff, provide a little bit of additional accountability for me, which is always a good thing. So so stay tuned for that. I'm not going to be cross-posting the videos, the non-makeup videos, to the Savvy Girls Guide page. I'm going to leave that strictly on YouTube. So if those types of videos are things that you're interested in and you're not already subscribed, please go ahead and click that that subscribe button for me, and give me a like and let me know that that's something that you're interested in. So you could even leave me a comment, and we can talk about other ideas that you might have for different content that I could include. So I'm open to pretty much anything. So anyway, I'm going to finish my face and head out to work. I hope y'all have an awesome Tuesday, and I'll see y'all next time. Hit the thumbs up button on your way out. Bye, y'all.